Good stuff. So now we've got this new chap. Yesterday we had another chap speaking. When did this gentleman start speaking at the state capturing camp?
Mnyandu started speaking today, and yesterday we had Tiamo Sidumedi. So we're going to have a number of representatives from MNS attorneys. You'll remember that they were appointed by the new board to do an investigation on the 1064 locomotives, and they basically did 6 forensic reports relating to that transaction and a few other transactions. So they are all going to be coming in and just giving their expert opinions on the evidence that they found during the investigations and what they discovered with during the interviews they also had with employees within Transnet.
So was Mr. Mnyandu dropping any bombs today? What was he testifying about?
He was definitely dropping bombs in the sense that we've heard about the Durban Relocation project, but what we heard today is that there was actually nothing to relocate. So the Durban Relocation project is it forms part of Transnet's engineering, which is Transnet's manufacturing arm, which is located in Pretoria in Kudusport. And they'd made the decision to relocate it to Durban. And because of that, and this was at the time where they were supposed to be getting locomotives, the 1,064 locomotives. And obviously when they informed their suppliers that, listen, we are going to relocate our manufacturing arm to Durban, the suppliers then informed them that, you know, the prices and the costs are going to escalate as a result of this relocation. But Mnyandu tells us that there was actually nothing to relocate. So it's almost as though Transnet paid hundreds of millions of rands for nothing, for no relocation at all. It almost looks like it was an artificial transaction that was just created, in the sense that it's artificial in the sense that the OEMs or the suppliers had not really set up shop in Pretoria. They didn't have rigs, they didn't have any manufacturing equipment, they had nothing, so there was nothing really to relocate.
So it was a fabrication so that people could get money?
Yes. So you have costs also increasing and escalating in that transaction, in the sense that when they were first informed, this testimony ties in with Roberto Gonçalves, who is a minority shareholder at CNR, and CNR is one of the OEMs and the suppliers to this locomotive contract. And he's basically saying that they had originally estimated the cost to be at around 6.7 million rand. However, a year later, Mnyandu tells the Commission that a year later, they were then informed that this cost is going to go up to as much as 647 million rand. And he's basically telling the Commission that he doesn't find any logical or justifiable explanation for these cost escalations. But the only thing he sees is that CNR, which was China North Rail, yes, which obviously rebranded in South Africa to be China North Rail Rolling Stone South Africa, had subcontracted a Gupta-linked company, and which is called BEX, and because they had subcontracted that company, the cost then increased and they were inflated to the 647 million rand. We also hear that that particular company, BEX, got 6.7 million rand, which Roberto Gonçalves testified to and said that they had tried to warn Transnet executives about, to say that this transaction does not make commercial sense, and there is no reason for you to pay CNR that much money, 647 million rand. Neither is there any reason for CNR to pay BEX 6.7 million rand.
As this testimony is being given of like outlandish fraud, what's the judge's reaction to this? Because I do tend to see that when this type of testimony comes out, he really doesn't like it.
He definitely doesn't. At times, he asks questions, he asks a lot of questions, and he just wants to get to the bottom of how things were. And you've heard him actually instructing some of the attorneys and the attorneys and the lawyers within his team to go and investigate the matter. I mean, we've heard him talking especially about this amount of money that is in question, because we heard Roberto Gonçalves speaking about how they had notified the Hawks. However, the Hawks dragged their feet and they never really got back to them to inquire and get more information from them relating to this transaction. And he then instructed, the lawyers within the commission to go back and inquire and find out what is the hold up and why the Hawks have not been investigating this matter. And you heard him saying things like, this is taxpayers' money, this is my money, this is our money. But for me, personally, if I may just put in my, my personal opinion, is that, we've heard a lot of the times ratings agencies flagging SOEs as a risk to the fiscus and basically saying that government, we need to improve governance there because they're always going back to government for bailouts. And it's just concerning that, if SOEs do go to government for bailouts and money is misused like this, it really puts South Africa and the fiscus in a very precarious position.
And perhaps those bailouts wouldn't be needed in the first place had the money that they had been used properly.
Of course.
All right, thanks very much, Mbali, for your time. That was my colleague Mbalenhle Mthethwa. She's been reporting on the state capture inquiry.